I was an undergraduate in physics at Imperial before deciding to do a postgrad in the physics department in laser science and laser development. While I was an undergraduate here at Imperial, I took several Horizons modules. The first was in my first year with Dr. Matt Wraith in creative thinking, and then later the advanced creative writings module with Dr. Afric Campbell before I did a project with Dr. Afric Campbell in my fourth year. As an undergraduate here at Imperial, I actually had no idea that Imperial had such a long-standing history of humanities education. I knew that the humanities provision was amazing, but I always thought that it was fairly recent and that you had to look it out. It's only recently that I became aware of its kind of proud tradition.
Yeah, I'm Charmaine Brinson and I'm Emeritus Professor of German at Imperial. I came years ago in 1979 as a lecturer in German, and I sort of worked my way up, became head of languages after Eric Stables left, and then I became head of department when Sinclair Goodlad left. In the staff room you would hear the other staff who'd been there for years, some of them, talking about how things had changed and so on. So I was always aware of it.
Believe it or not, I'm standing on land which belongs to Imperial College, although I doubt whether more than about 100 or so people anything to do with IC would recognise it. It's not in South Kensington, it's about a 40-minute drive southwest of London at Sunninghill in Berkshire. Imperial College at Silwood Park.
Ah yes, Touchstone. I took over Touchstone from a very nice chap called Kenneth McDowell, who was stationed in what is now the Sherfield building. The point about Touchstone was that you went down on the Saturday, you then had an organised, sometimes a little lecture and then a discussion or sometimes a debate, and then on the Sunday you would have another session of discussion or explanation or whatever you went for, and then you all trooped off to the pub down the road.
When I was an undergraduate, I took lessons in Russian, mainly driven by not only an interest in the language, but also that at that time a number of key scientific papers were published in things like Soviet physics letters. So I thought I might have a chance of reading those. A bit of a forlorn hope, actually. But there was also many other activities in the college that I found really useful, the symphony orchestra, the choir. So it was really a broadening of horizons.
Yes, I tried to vary the diet, because the diet in the curriculum was pretty narrow. It was physics and math, and that's it, basically. So there were no other choices. I had a tutor, John Payne, who was very interested in literature and art, and so we'd actually deviate in our tutorials to talk about other things. The lectures were great. I did go to at least one Touchstone weekend. I think I wrote occasionally, a couple of times for the Felix, and I recall another magazine like Phoenix, I think it was called.
So I think there are many important skills that STEM students can learn through the humanities. Obviously, a big one is science communication and being able to communicate your research to the public, which I think is hugely important, especially in this changing climate, with global warming happening and with the onset of AI and artificial intelligence. But as well, I think it's really important for humanities students or scientists to understand the humanities in the context of their work. So understanding things like the ethical implications of their research, but as well understanding, etymology and what truth actually means. And you can only get that from a humanities education, not from the sciences.
I think my experiences at Imperial showed me that, physics was a wonderful subject to study, and I was going to happily set my course in that direction. But by being in London and by having a smaller number of broadening influences here, I saw there were other, avenues, other ways to go, and so I sort of sowed the seeds for being a little broader than just a physicist through my career.
The iExplore program gives students a chance to reach outside their own disciplines and to look at the world a little more broadly, whether that's in taking entrepreneurial courses in the business school or humanities courses in CLCC, or engaging in other activities like the FOND's MAD program, which is taking place today, I understand. So that I think is always a useful thing to do, especially as the world moves more towards addressing major global challenges where it's clear that interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary thinking are going to be important. So therefore the ability to reach outside your domain of technical knowledge is more and more crucial.